The movie commences with cosmonaut Jakub PSA participating in an interview for the Euro space program. Jakub has been on his solo journey outside Earth for 189 days, currently orbiting Jupiter. He discusses his mission's purpose, aiming to collect and analyze particles from the Czech cloud. During the interview, he interacts with Anna, a young girl who labels him as the loneliest man in history due to his distance from others. Although Jakub denies feeling lonely, his demeanor suggests otherwise. Later, Jakub's sleep is disturbed by a malfunctioning toilet, which he requests to be fixed, but is declined due to higher priorities. He converses with Peter, a technician, expressing difficulty in sleeping and concerns about Linka, who hasn't contacted him recently. Even Jakub's commanding officer, Commissioner Tuma, watches a video message from Linka addressed to Jakub. Lena confides in Commissioner Tuma about her plans to divorce Jakub, prompting Tuma to withhold the video message from Jakub to spare him further distress. Meanwhile, Jakub struggles with insomnia and is given Dorham to manage it temporarily. One night, Jakub awakens abruptly to a terrifying nightmare of something crawling under his skin, culminating in a disturbing encounter with a spider-like entity. Gasping for breath, he realizes it was just a dream. The next day, Jakub focuses on simulating the Chopra sample collection, finally grasping the task at hand. Concerned about Lena's silence, he asks Peter to check on her, but discovers she's visiting her mother. Later, while using Sech Connect, Jakub encounters a mysterious voice, leaving him unsettled. Despite Peter's assurance that the system wasn't hacked, Jakub remains wary. As Jakub continues his routine, he hears a noise on the ship and encounters a large extraterrestrial arachnid. Panicked, he seeks refuge in the airlock, fearing for his safety. With the creature's reassurance that it means no harm, Jakub decides to deploy decontaminants in an attempt to rid the ship of the arachnid. Encountering the arachnid once more, Jakub initiated a conversation with the alien. The arachnid revealed its lifelong curiosity about humans and its inadvertent intrusion into Jakub's ship, driven by Jakub's loneliness. Uncertain whether the arachnid was real or a product of his imagination, Jakub refrained from touching it, respecting its aversion to physical contact. Consuming Dorham to induce sleep, Jakub hoped to dismiss the encounter as a dream, only to find himself trapped in a surreal dream within a dream, where he confronted his unresolved feelings for Linka and questioned the arachnid's influence on his mind. It becomes apparent that the extraterrestrial arachnid possesses the ability to enter Jakub's mind, accessing his thoughts, dreams, and memories with ease. The extraterrestrial arachnid expressed its desire to help Jakub cope with his emotional turmoil, suggesting that Jakub's wife seemed distant and offering support during this challenging time. In a moment of vulnerability, Jakub shared the traumatic memory of his father's death. His father, once a member of the Communist Party and an informant, left Jakub deeply scarred after witnessing his demise. Accepting the solo mission, Jakub hoped to redeem his father's actions, seeking absolution through his journey. Sensing Jakub's inner turmoil, Hannes urged him to prioritize his relationship with his pregnant wife and strive to be a better father figure. Meanwhile, Commissioner Tuma paid a visit to Lena to discuss the unshared video message intended for Jakub. Lena confessed to withholding the message, expressing concern for Jakub's mental well-being. Tuma sought to understand Lena's decision to divorce Jakub while he was far from Earth, but Lena remained silent on the matter. Before departing, Tuma reminded Lena of the unresolved silence between her and Jakub, prompting her to reflect on their strained relationship. Tuma emphasizes that the shared silence between Jakub and Lena during their calls is significant, signifying their unity in silence. Despite their lack of verbal communication, Tuma suggests that being silent together holds value in their relationship. Meanwhile, the Pharaoh collection simulation concludes successfully, with Jakub approaching the Chopra cloud. Witnessing tiny particles of the cloud inside his ship, Jakub is awestruck, but unable to capture them. Hannes explains that the cloud's essence is elusive and cannot be contained. As Jakub observes the grains drifting away, he attempts to contact control but receives no response, realizing he's lost communication. Approaching the cloud's origin, Jakub expresses concern, but Hannes reassures him, hinting at a profound experience ahead. Hannes tries to broach the topic of Lena, but Jakub remains distant. Hannes confronts Jakub about his selfishness and failure to understand Lena, expressing deep disappointment in Jakub's actions. Jakub realizes that his loneliness is self-imposed, stemming from his prioritization of his own desires over meaningful connections. Ines, feeling let down, decides to leave despite Jakub's attempt to stop him. In a moment of anger, Ines pins Jakub down before departing, leaving Jakub even more desolate. Jakub, overwhelmed with guilt and loneliness, fixes the communication and contacts Peter, urging him to reconcile with Lena. Peter follows Jakub's instructions, facilitating a conversation between Jakub and Lena. Jakub apologizes sincerely for neglecting Lena and living a self-centered life, expressing his desire to change for the better. Ines returns, admitting he didn't want Jakub to face the challenges ahead alone. As they prepare to enter the Chopra cloud, Ines reveals his past and the tragedy that befell his kind, leading to a poignant embrace between him and Jakub. Jakub, now understanding the depth of their connection, feels a sense of relief as they prepare for their journey into the unknown, which is being broadcast to the entire country. Commissioner Tuma expressed the pride of the Czech Republic in Jakub for surpassing South Korea and becoming the first to investigate the elusive purple specter that had been captivating the skies. Jakub finally entered the Chopra cloud and initiated the deployment of FERDA for sample collection. However, an unexpected interference occurred, and Jakub noticed Ines gasping and drifting out of the spacecraft. While Jakub worried over Ines, the control team panicked over FERDA's system failure, recording numerous malfunctions. They urgently ordered Jakub to abort the mission due to the extreme danger it posed. Ignoring their warnings, Jakub focused solely on saving his extraterrestrial arachnid friend. Jakub proceeded to the airlock and donned the EMU suit, informing Peter of his intention to exit the spacecraft. Upon reaching Ines, Jakub embraced him and inquired about his well-being. Ines commended Jakub for his bravery, but warned that the GARPs would soon weaken him, making him susceptible to being consumed by the cloud. They had only a fleeting moment before Ines faced his demise. Drifting together, they gazed upon the Chopra cloud. Ines assured Jakub that this wasn't the end and guided him to the center of the cloud. There, Jakub uncovered profound truths about himself and the universe. The Chopra cloud encapsulated not only the beginning but also the end, containing every aspect of Jakub's life, including his past, future, and relationships. Astonished by his newfound understanding, Jakub realized what truly mattered and rediscovered his love for Lena. With his mission accomplished and his enlightenment attained, Ines uttered his final words. While Ines began and ended within the Chopra cloud, Jakub's journey was not yet over. He still had a life to return to, but he needed to heed the silence. Jakub watched as Ines slowly faded away, staring into the light in silence. Meanwhile, on Earth, Linka anxiously awaited news of Jakub as she gazed at the purple cloud in the sky. Her anticipation turned to joy as she received a call. On the other end, she heard Jakub's voice. Jakub expressed regret for his past actions, but Linka affirmed her enduring love for him. With this exchange, the movie concludes, leaving viewers with a sense of closure and hope for the future. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon so you won't miss any future videos.